In the aftermath of the terrible fire that ravaged the site in April 2019, Notre Dame de Paris is being returned to its original splendor thanks to the remarkable restoration work carried out by specialist trades during the past 4 years. The incredible scope of such a project also involves landscaping the almost 10 acres of land surrounding the cathedral to elevate the site to its former magnificence. While it was decided that the Notre Dame Cathedral be rebuilt in the exact original style, the current council went for a modern innovation in the complete redesign of the forecourts and gardens to the side and back. Please stay with us as we reveal the enormous controversy amongst Parisians around the restoration of the Paris Notre Dame Gardens. This is Megalith. Please subscribe and never miss an update on the world's best mega projects. The original gardens surrounding Notre Dame Cathedral were relatively simple, focusing on providing a serene and functional space for visitors and locals. The square Jean 23rd located behind the cathedral was a tranquil garden with well-maintained flower beds, benches, and a fountain. It offered a peaceful retreat, especially considering its proximity to the bustling city center. However, these gardens were not as elaborate or historically significant as those found in other Parisian parks. Their primary purpose was to complement the cathedral's grandeur and provide a green space for relaxation and contemplation. To take on the massive project of bringing these Notre Dame gardens to match the cathedral's restored splendor, an international competition was launched in the spring of 2021, and by September that year, 4 teams had been selected to work on redeveloping the cathedral's plaza. The applicants were required to fulfill certain specifications, such as meeting 2050 climate objectives, reviving natural surroundings in the space, and returning to Notre Dame's roots, and revitalizing the experience for pedestrians to experience the most visited historical monument in Europe. The jury selected the design team to be led by the winner, Landscape Architecture Bureau Basse-Metz, working with Grau Architects, Neuville-Gayet Architects, and Ingerop, amongst others. Commencing in 2024, the garden's redevelopment project will allow for increased greenery and open spaces. Some Parisians are concerned about the proposed garden around the cathedral and argue that it could disrupt the historical and architectural integrity of the centuries-old Gothic structure, which symbolizes French heritage. Moreover, the garden might be seen as an attempt to modernize the cathedral complex, potentially overshadowing its historical significance and the craftsmanship involved in its construction. Additionally, there are fears that the garden could be commercialized, hosting events or selling merchandise, which could detract from the site's solemn and spiritual atmosphere. Many Parisians are furious over the plans for what is considered by some a British-style garden in the surrounds of the cathedral. Thousands of people have signed a petition against the redesign, which replaces the enclosed walled gardens with Basse-Metz's designed open lawns and trees. This comes at a time when residents of the city are increasingly complaining that Paris is being disfigured and turned into a common metropolis. Basse-Metz said he was inspired by the British way of having big lawns close to the church, where people can sit and look at it and children play. But the petition criticizes his awarded design for turning the Jean 23rd Garden, one of the oldest in Paris, and Ile-de-France Gardens, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites, into a permanently accessible large space. The gardens were fenced off in the mid-1800s and closed every night prior to the cathedral restoration. It's recently been mentioned by the critics of the redesign that it seems designers want the squares in Paris to look like motorway service areas. Anne Hidalgo, known as Paris's greenest ever mayor, is under increased pressure to change the plan for the grounds of the Ile de la Cité in the Seine, many accusing her of ransacking Paris in an obsessive quest for urban greening. Jean-François Legaret, the president of the Old Paris Commission, believes the gates to the gardens are protected as historical monuments and must be preserved. However, it's important to note that not all Parisians are opposed to the garden. Some believe it could create a peaceful and contemplative space for visitors and locals alike, enhancing the overall cathedral experience. Ultimately, the decision to build the garden will be complex, requiring careful consideration of the diverse opinions of Parisians and experts. Work on the new public space has commenced and is set to be finished by 2028. While there have been talks to revisit the plans, the Paris City Council asserts that the existing plans will go ahead. But what is it that makes this project so important and Basse-Metz's design so symbolic and controversial? The Ile de la Cité, a historic island nestled in the Seine River, is not just the home of the iconic Notre Dame Cathedral. It's the birthplace of Paris itself. The cathedral's forecourt marks kilometer zero, the starting point of France's road network. This symbolic location, where distances to other cities are measured, underscores the island's historical significance. The Ile de la Cité has witnessed more than 800 years of urban transformation, making the challenge of redeveloping these 10 acres on the Seine a unique opportunity to reinvent and shape a peaceful, inclusive, and sustainable city that is concerned about its environment. The Bureau Basmet's team has proposed a bold ecological initiative, transforming a 2-story underground parking garage into a symbol of urban renewal. This subterranean space, located beneath the cathedral forecourt, will be entirely redesigned and repurposed. By connecting the garage to the adjoining crypt and opening it up to the Seine River, the designers aim to restore the site's historical connection to the waterway. Recent excavations have unearthed remnants of an old dock, providing tangible evidence of the site's past. This project not only decarbonizes the area, but also reimagines the urban landscape, creating a sustainable and historically sensitive place. The project creates an interior promenade in the former parking garage under the forecourt. A covered space that is still open to the outside, this new underground agora will offer facilities including a reception area for groups, a cafe, restaurant, and public toilets. It will also highlight the dock remains discovered 60 years ago. By opening a staircase that will end near the foot of the cathedral, the monument will regain a grandeur that successive developments erased over the centuries as the city was built up layer by layer. To further enhance the Ile de la Cité urban renewal, the project plans to introduce more greenery to the area. The forecourt, previously dominated by pavement, will be transformed into a tree-lined plaza. The project design team had observed visitors seeking shade from the cathedral's shadow during peak times. Their design incorporates naturally shaded areas to provide relief and accommodate the 100-plus annual cultural events held in this place. To help bring the temperature down on very hot days, a sheet of water less than a half-inch thick will also be spread over a wide swath of the square. Using recovered rainwater and a closed circuit, the primary objective is to have the water evaporate as much as possible to refresh passers-by. Corinne Dunoguier believes that the user experience was a decisive factor in the city of Paris choosing this project. As head of urban development at Ingerop, she is employed by the group that previously helped Paris select the winner of the competition to redesign the park surrounding the Eiffel Tower. On top of the 30,000 people who visit the cathedral daily, thousands of other people, workers and locals, pass through there every day. In her view, the area was ill-equipped and poorly thought out for people with reduced mobility. As the Notre Dame restoration project concludes, the gardens designed by Basmet's remains a subject of debate. While some Parisians embrace the modern vision for the gardens, others yearn for a more traditional approach. It remains to be seen whether the original design will be fully realized or if compromises will be made to appease various stakeholders. The outcome will ultimately shape the future of this historic site and its impact on the Parisian landscape. This is Megalith. We hope you enjoyed our video. Please click subscribe and turn on notifications for more on the most amazing mega projects worldwide.